We begin at 5 o'clock with the coronavirus outbreak here in our state. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Dennis House. The big headline today, schools will remain closed for the rest of this academic year in Connecticut. But we also learned hospitalizations have gone up, breaking that streak after a 12-day decline. So what does it mean? More on that coming up. But first, here are the latest COVID-19 numbers. Cases have climbed to more than 30,000 infections to date. More than 2,900 people have died from the virus across Connecticut. As we mentioned, there was an increase in the number of people in hospitals for the first time in days. Having 14 days of steady declines was a criteria for reopening. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell asked what impact that will have on reopening the state. He's live now with his answer he got from the governor today. Matthew?
Yeah, Dennis, right now there is no impact. May 20th, that's still the date. But seeing that uptick, that increase of 36 patients, that was surprising. Now, the other big headline today is that officially schools will not reopen this year. The distance learning, that's going to remain in place. And the writing was on the wall for several weeks now. Plans are still in the works for graduation, but the state is really turning its focus now to the fall semester, because if we do see a second wave, we could be in this spot again. So in fact, to prevent a second wave, social distancing and possibly masks could be recommended. Susan Raff is going to have much more on that next. But going back to the increase of daily hospitalizations, keeping them in decline was a huge criteria to reopening the state. So we wanted to know why we're still on track for the 20th. The state says it's looking at a rolling average, and by the time May 20th rolls around, we could still hit that goal.
So the concept is a rolling average. We know that particularly as the hospitalizations continue to decline, eventually they'll flatten out, right? They're not going to go to zero. And so the concept was 14 days of a continuous decline.
So no change to that May 20th partial reopening. The governor did acknowledge there is not a lot of margin for error here and will be cautious as each decision is made. Live above the newsroom, Matthew Campbell, Channel 3 News.